Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Premiere Next. In this video you are going to get all the information related to latest review updates of the series called Alpha Males Season 2, the TV show in Spanish. For several years now, they have been going through what is unquestionably the greatest time in their history. I believe there is no arguing with the production volume, but the problem is that a number of important titles are also released all year long. There is also a mid-range selection with something for every taste, and I would personally recommend Machos Alpha, a comedy on Netflix from the makers of La Cusacerca. Machos Alpha, which was released towards the end of 2022, was obviously a development from his earlier works, but I can't claim that it's a must-have series. For the time being, the common criticism of episodes being too long was addressed by keeping them to roughly 30 minutes each, but other components of it were also slightly more polished. All of this is verified in the second season of Netflix, which launches this Friday, February 9th. Without getting complicated, Alpha Males feels more like a modernized version of Marriage Scenes, as I pointed out when I saw it for the first time. As a result, it is typical for there to be a lot of moments that resemble tiny sketches but are always shaping into something bigger that provides the series with consistency and coherence. This is something that is even more evident at the beginning of the season. Netflix has only released the first 3 episodes to the media, where the circumstances in which the characters were left result in a greater detachment of certain parts from the others. Examples of these include the subplot involving the characters' new partner Caramiro and Maria Herves's professional crisis. However, since one of Alpha Males' defining features is tinkering with familiar concepts, I'm thinking, for instance, of Cayetano Ghislaine Corvo's character, or playing with them more conventionally, like Esther's jealousy of Luis's new partner, it is inevitable that Alpha Males will always feel predictable. Everything was presented with the utmost simplicity and the primary goal of providing the audience with amusement, almost entirely. And that is because establishing its heroes was one thing that the first season of Alpha Males handled quite well, something that is not the case with most television comedies. And be aware of what each one has to offer us. It is true that there was a wager on a lower profile in terms of ambitions, but the most crucial thing was to figure out how to make the materials they worked with flow, and there weren't many issues that could go beyond how each viewer interprets the meaning through his sense of humor. Thus, don't anticipate any kind of shock as they keep toying with the notion of subverting machismo in a positive way. It's true that patriarchy and the destruction of masculinity are hot topics right now, but this isn't the place to address this sensitive subject. Even when someone gets stuck and turns to a moment that bridges the gap between what happened in fact and what happens in fiction, it's all done in the interest of creating easily accessible humor. This is why I was immediately reminded of Raquel Sanchez Silva. It is even acknowledged that the road the protagonists took in Season 1 really served to maintain the patriarchy, so the goal here is not really for the audience or any of the characters to learn anything meaningful. Instead, any criticism offered is brief and shallow. Presenting circumstances, characters falling in love, and how enjoyable each episode may be are all vital. Because of this, Season 2 seems like such a logical continuation that it is meaningless to distinguish between various episodes. Although there are new characters, the really important ones are still the same. Yes, there was a significant rotation of supporting characters in its predecessor. For this occasion, the Knight brothers, former collaborators from La Cusacerca and El Pueblo, which are still, in my opinion, the best works they have done since No One Lives Here, are back. In my opinion, Paula Gallego's persona lacks a little of originality, and I wish there was more of a protagonist because of this. He could not, by any means, say that Alpha Males is essential, as I stated at the beginning of this article, but he could say that it is on a much higher level than La Cusacerca currently is, and that there is still clearly room for improvement. Some things I miss are, for instance, a more memorable character or a running gag that always works. Her little episodes do help, of course, but they also wouldn't keep her afloat if they were awful or dull. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates related to upcoming movies and series. Related to upcoming movies